Social Distancing Storytime is filmed before a live studio audience.
Hey everybody! Welcome back to Social Distancing Storytime with Doc Bledsoe. I'm really sorry that I did not get you out a new episode sooner, but I was making masks. That's right, I made a ton of these things. I had a sewing machine, it broke, I'm really sad about that, but there's worse problems. A new one's on the way. I made 80 masks in 10 days. Can you believe that? A bunch of these things. As you can see, I am right now not wearing my normal Don't Panic gas mask because that is not what the CDC has asked for. They've asked us to wear these kind of cloth ones. So I'm wearing mine to show you I'm doing my part and I'm doing the right thing. I made a bunch of these things. I planned on wearing an ET one, but I think it's in my car, so I wore this one. Anyhow, I wanted to help out, and we live near a military base where people really had to have these things. They started making them have them just to go to the grocery store, which is for everybody's safety. And I made a bunch of them, and then I took the money that they paid me for the masks, and I gave it all to the Victims Assistance Center here in Watertown. Do you know what that is? It's a place that helps women and children who've been abused. And right now, I bet their job is a lot harder than it normally is, and they don't always have a good job, so we need to think about them. These people, they don't even have a safe place to go without these shelters sometimes. And so I wanted to give them the money, and I really hope they enjoyed it. And we gave some masks to some teachers here who are handing out lunches, and we're doing our part and keeping our masks on when we leave. So thank you for understanding why you didn't get a new episode sooner. I really appreciate it. I think it's really great that they're still out there doing their work even though there's a pandemic. Yes, if you're looking, I changed my mask. I think I found one of my Snoopy ones here that's pretty great, atomic greens, even Easter. It's got Snoopy hunting eggs, pretty great, right? But back to the main point there, nobody should have to be abused. These people are still out there doing their work, trying to get it done, and that's why I wanted to throw them a little bit of support. And that's what I did with my mask money. So I hope everybody thinks about them. There's people that we need to not forget about during these times. I mean, I hope everybody's okay. I want to see everybody come through in the end, but this is who I chose to try and do a little bit extra for. So, last time I left you with some more music. We did, what did we do? What did we listen to? Something, I think I gave you Chopin, yes? Chopin, we've done Peanuts and the Chopin. So, this time I wanted to give you something different. And I haven't found the link yet, but I'm sure it's out there, and I'll put it in there for you. I wanted to leave you with Glenn Gould playing Bach's the Goldberg Variations. It's an amazing piece of music. Just something to color by. No worries, right? Also, this episode is brought to you by the number 36, which is how many days we've been at this. So, I have a new friend for you. I would like everybody to meet another friend of mine. He kind of hangs out with Pack Rat, so anyhow, let me introduce you to Windbag the Dragon. Everybody, this is Windbag. Windbag, say hi to everyone. Hello. Windbag is a three-headed dragon, which means he has 3 mouths, and he does a whole lot of talking without saying anything very helpful at all. It's not great, is it? Windbag likes to listen to himself talk. We have these things that we call Windbag's Greatest Hits, which translates to Windbag's Favorite Conspiracy Theories. Anyways, Windbag, what are some of the things that you like to say that aren't very helpful? The 5G towers are gonna kill us all. Really? That's what you got? Cell phone towers? We've been at that for a while. The government's trying to use vaccines to microchip everybody so they can keep track of them and then kill them with the 5G. You're just kind of the worst. I mean, where do you even get this? Off the internets. No. What else you got? What you got more? Don't wear those masks. I read from a report that came off the internet of dubious origin that they're going to make it all worse. They want you to wear that mask so you get used to martial law. You know you're not helping anyone. This is just awful. All right, Windbag, I'll give you one more shot to be helpful. What you got? This is an attempt by the Illuminati to take control and bring everything under the NWO. No, you're done, buddy. You're all done. Everybody say goodbye to Windbag. No, all done. I'll let you say bye. As long as you don't say anything dumb. You good? Goodbye. Thanks, Windbag. I think most of us have at least one friend or family member like Windbag. And it's important to remember that most of them don't actually mean to hurt anyone. But that's what's going to happen when they go around spreading misinformation. So, you don't have to be mean to them or anything, but you also don't have to let yourself be hurt by this kind of nonsense. All it's going to do is create division, confusion. It's going to get people hurt in the end. Me, I'm going with the CDC. They asked me to put this thing on. I put the thing on when I go grocery shopping. They tell me to wash my hands. Well, you should have been doing that anyway. Stay home, wash your hands. It's all going to come out. I really do hope you're doing okay. So, we've had our time with Windbag. Let's move on to the fun stuff. I went exploring again, and I found an object in my house that I wanted to share with you. I found my 1930s Brownie Jr. camera in Art Deco. I really think this is just a beautiful camera. This thing, when it came out, not this specific model, the first Brownie, but when they came out, they revolutionized something, because before this, people had to actually go see a photographer to get any photos. Not just really, really good ones or anything, any. It was professionals who did it. The hobbyists, the people who owned all the stuff, they were it. Hobby professionals, whoever owned the studios and the cameras, that was it. And then they came out with this Brownie, and people were able to take their own pictures. They had to send the whole camera off to get them back, and the camera would show back up with new film in it, and your photographs would be developed, and that's just, you paid for that, and it was revolutionary. People got to make all the photographs they wanted. And that was kind of another limiting factor, and I don't know if I've addressed this with you, and we're going to address it in today's show, but you think about the cell phones and stuff that just take pictures. Just take all of them you could want, right? This thing had to have film. Film is a substance on plastic. It's a little roll of plastic with some chemicals on it called emulsion, and the emulsion is how you take a photograph with it. When you expose it to light, it's dark inside this box, it's dark inside the cameras. When you expose it to light, the image is recorded onto the film by burning the chemicals in the reflection of the image. It's maybe a poor description, but that's what it is. And then you have to take that stuff to some kind of sorcerer who, dips it in some chemicals or potion, whichever you want to think of it. And if they do it just right, images will come out of it. And I think that's pretty fascinating. Like, you watch Harry Potter and they're fascinated because their images move. I'm just really stoked that we can do this in the first place. It's like magic to me. And not only do I enjoy developing film, I just like to look at the cameras. This one doesn't really work anymore. I don't have the right film for this one. And I would have to do some work to it to get it working. But, it's a piece of history, a piece of art, really. If you took a look at this thing, you would see that the front of it here, what I called the Art Deco style, this reflects the times in which it was made. This is kind of the style that they were using for buildings and art, and it was just a mark of the times. You watch old Superman and Batman cartoons, and you'll see that they have this kind of big deco style going on. And I really love this thing. I think my grandmother got it for me from a cousin who was having a yard sale. And I would like for it to work, but at the same time, it's really just something that I can collect and admire. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at it, and we'll see what shapes we can find in it while we do that. Oh man, if you enjoy hunting shapes, this one's great. This thing is just covered in circles. The whole camera itself is one big rectangle. It's got another rectangle on the front. Even the decoration has a lot of shapes you can hunt.
I think my favorite is how it looks kind of like a face here on the front for the lens and the viewing lenses.
So we've taken a look at this camera. Now, it's not from this camera. It's from another camera that I have that I enjoy, but I still use film. I don't do everything digitally. And so I made you guys a little video where we're gonna walk through the process of developing film. This is not meant to be for instructional purposes. Like, don't try to develop your own film with this. There's more to it. There's the little details you need to learn. And if you do try it ever, only ever try it with an adult's permission and help. But let's go check out that really cool video. Hello. Today we're going to show you a little bit about developing film at home. This is only to be done with adult supervision. First, you have to remove any watch or Apple Watch or fitness tracker that may light up. Film is sensitive to light and should not be exposed to it while in the bag or in the darkroom. Next, we will put on gloves so that we can keep our hands safe. Developing involves chemicals and you should wear protective gear including eye protection and hand gloves at all times. Next, we have to put the equipment into a bag. We need a special light-proof tank so that when the film comes out of the bag, it does not get exposed to light, but you can still pour the liquids in. You'll also need scissors and something to get the film out of the canisters. This bag is 100% light-proof once your hands go inside of it to load the film. It's a specialized procedure that you have to learn a little bit, because once your hands are in the bag, you can't see what you're doing, and you must do it all by feel. It takes a good bit of practice to get really good at it. Even I sometimes have to back up and do it over. Your canister will tell you how much chemistry you need for each roll of film. I use a special app called Massive Dev to help me time my developments and for their recipes as well. Next, we have to mix the chemistry. The instructions and volumes will be on the bottle. Be very careful when doing this. Getting just the right volume of chemistry to water is very important in getting a correct development out of your film. Only do one thing at a time when handling chemistry. Put down the vial and then put the lid on securely. Next, we add water to complete it. It's a 9-to-1 solution, so it's 9 parts water and 1 part chemistry. We use this large beaker to get it just right. These blue mason jars are inexpensive and are made of glass, and that makes them an excellent conductor for heating chemistry each time. I place a simple tape label on the top of each jar to let me know what's in it. This is my developer. Once the lid is secure, we give it a very vigorous shake to make sure that it's properly mixed. Next will come the fixer. The fixer is a chemical which affixes the silver particles that are on the black and white film to their base. This helps it to stop the development and to keep the image affixed onto the film. You did not see me mix the fixer, as most fixers are good for more than one use. This one was pre-mixed and I move it between jug and jar each time I need it. Lastly, I prepare my stop bath. It's actually the second chemical we'll use, but I always pour it in last as I don't want it around the others. It's an acidic chemical which stops the development immediately after I've removed the developer.
After all of that, I mix up a little bit of photo flow, a Kodak chemical which helps the water to run off the surface of the film and dry faster. It's kind of like a cousin to dish soap as it breaks up the surface tension of the water. Next, it is time to heat the chemistry. Having the right temperature chemistry is one of the essential components, along with it being mixed properly in the right amounts and paired with the right film, and at that point used for the right amounts of time. My method is simple. I fill a large pot with hot water and I allow the glass jars to conduct the heat to their chemistry inside. I stir and check it using this photographic film thermometer to make sure that I have the temperature just right. Once it's ready, we pour it into the developing tank. As I said before, these tanks are very special and they allow in fluid but not light. Then we reach over and start the timer on massive dev. We have to keep the chemistry moving at first so that it doesn't get stagnant. This is a process called agitation. Massive Dev has timers for each stage. Near the end of each minute, it will begin a timer at 57 seconds so that we can know when it's time to agitate again. Just in case you're in a dark room and can't see it, it has audible cues so that you know when it's coming, and it tells you how long to agitate for. That bell means that it's time to dump out the developer and move on to the next chemical, the stop bath. Stop bath isn't in there very long. I went ahead and had the jug ready to pour it away. Now comes the fixer. We've already had our fixer heated and ready, so it just, like the others, goes right into the tank and is followed by another round of initial agitation and agitations at the end of every minute. Once fixing is complete, as signaled by the bell, it just goes right back into its jug. I can use it over and over until it's expended. After that, the film has to be washed in running water. This tank again has another feature where it allows me to stick that hose in it and leave it while I clean up. Immediate cleanup is not only good for your equipment, but it's a safety precaution. You don't want chemical being left around. I use the triple rinse method as taught to me by my father-in-law, who is a high school chemistry teacher. After the washing is complete and a trip into the photo flow to help keep the water running off of it, We get the moment we've waited for. We get to see that there are images on the film. These images are called negatives. This is the reward, seeing the little pictures.
Wow. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Also, are you enjoying my new house? This is Doc's house now. It's pretend, it's cardboard, but I like to pretend. I hope you do too. I think a lot of people might be rediscovering their imagination right now. It's a very valuable tool. It's something we shouldn't have let go of in the first place. And I hope that yours has been serving you well. I made a couple of decorations. I made my calendar here to keep track of how long we've been in isolation and social distancing and everything for us. And this is my window. And my window just overlooks these hills. And I asked my kids what else my window should have, and it has blue skies and a yellow sun, which doesn't show up really well because it's crowned. But they also told me I should add some flowers. And we'll see what else we can add over these windows. I really hope you like to play pretend, because I do. And I'm going to add some stuff to my walls as we go. But I figured rather than just that black curtain and school desk, you would like it if Doc had a playhouse. Anyways, I thank you for tuning back in. I hope you will enjoy the music video, if I can find it, for the Goldberg variations. And just remember what we covered. Nobody has to be abused. There are people who still need our help. We're all in this together. You should still be washing your hands. And yeah, don't listen to the Windbags of the world. And thank you very much for tuning in.